Also, I wasn't as motivated to start the YouTube stream because I don't want to be rushed to start something that doesn't even benefit me at all. So, see now ES caught back up strength wise, which I was hoping would happen. Now there's a lot of pivots above. This is a fantastic trade. I'm actually able to move my stop up just a little bit. Um, I can do that. If it comes all the way down here, it's going to get to my original stop. But anyways, so many pivots. We have this high of yesterday before CPI. We have the high just above that. So we have a lot of liquidity, a lot of resistance here. But, 60.99 is the big one. And it's still further away from that PT than NQ is from break and supply. So I really just have to hope that NQ breaks supply with some kind of momentum. I think it's fairly likely. This isn't quite a perfect double top, but this is a very tested area of liquidity. And I think, if we can break over this without sweeping, I could see us running to the next supply. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen in the same day because that's far away, but in general, there's not much here. I assume once it gets over this pivot on NQ, it'll be like unhitching the trailer and it can finally just start going. Good morning, YouTube people. All right, NQ just got the supply PT that we called out, and there's ESPT as well. Starting off today right. I am so happy. The reason I hopped into voice so early, I actually thought I was going to stop out of that trade. It got 2 ticks from my stop loss before bouncing. Um, Hope you guys appreciate me hopping in Discord voice very early. I also told you guys in my options channel, if the dip invalidates, I'm bullish for NQ supply to break, and it did, so. All right, now I have nothing. Just document this real quick. Yeah, you Discord people are spoiled. But anything for you guys. And I have nothing now. I don't have any pivots. I got nothing. So I don't know how much trading I'm gonna do now. That was like the big thing. Looks like NQ's doing pretty much what I said. Looks good to the supply cluster. That was the prediction, right? I said I don't think it's very likely to sweep this. Once it breaks it, I'd assume it just gets to the supply cluster because there's not much resistance in between there. I think I'm willing to enter another long trade. I don't really want to give back gains, but if NQ for some reason pulls back or puts in some kind of pennant, I'd be tempted to enter because I'm pretty bullish on the Nasdaq right now. Is Munchies in here? I don't think so. Munchies took a lot of you guys in futures chat took the exact same trades I did on options. Looks like a lot of you guys are so bright green today. That is awesome. I love that we all trade the same. So like not many of you guys actually follow my channel alerts, but we all take the same trades because we just know how to trade. It's good stuff. Very good stuff. Love to see it. That was the potential dip on NQ. You could buy this, but right after that volume spike, I can't. I'm bullish for it to get to the supply cluster, like I said, but looks like I'm going to miss out on it. Morning Dragon. Oh yeah, it's getting right there. Did we not predict this perfectly? That's beautiful. I'm not going to be able to make any money on it though, because it is pretty much there. ES is almost at a supply cluster as well. As per pivots, we have a minor pivot right at supply. It's pretty minor, but it's right at supply on NQ. So that would be my more formal PT. If it does sweep that pivot and put in a reversal indication, you could go short. I don't know about going short though. The trend is so strong, but every time I sit out on shorts, it makes money. So I feel like the one time I don't sit out, I'm gonna lose money. Killing it today. What a fantastic day. It was absolutely chaos. I can't like I entered calls this morning pretty much at the close of the market open candle. I can't even alert. It's just gapping up. And then I enter puts pretty much at the close of this candle. Can't even alert it. But I informally alerted it. You guys just have to do it yourselves, which most of you guys in the server do because you trade for yourself anyways. But what a good day. It even got to demand, swept this pivot right here. What a good price action this morning. Looks ready for some chop though. I'm hoping ES reverses and drags NQ down so I can take a trade. Um, it's tempting. I'm just bullish on dips. Any dip, I just want to buy it. Like even that dip right there, I want to buy. This candle's extremely bullish. Looks like a small little bull pennant right now. Not able to get in though. Still stiffly, by the way. So many one-on-ones though. We're knocking out one-on-ones. For those of you that were in the mentorship last year, don't miss it. I think I already have like 28 one-on-ones booked. I wanted to cap it at 40 people. If you're able to, I would highly recommend not missing this year's mentorship. It's going to be very different, very much more aggressive than last year's, and it's going to be freaking awesome. It's going to be unlike anything I've ever done on this platform. And then depending on how this year goes, my goal is not a single person in the mentorship will not be making more than they're losing trading. So every single person currently profitable by the end of the year. Depending on how it goes, I will actually start opening the doors more for 2026. But I also in the premium announcements, guys, I sent out my schedule, and that's not even updated. I have more meetings now on it. Uh, some people were asking why I'm not doing any events after market close. The schedule is why. I'm literally doing 4 hours of one-on-ones every single day. So, oh, that is so bullish. That is so bullish. I want to enter longs here, but the PT's too close. I think I'm going to enter longs. Oh wait, this candle opened bearish. All right, if this candle flips green, I'll take longs. I'll give it a shot. That is proper bullish consolidation, smaller than what I want. But if this candle flips green, I'll hop in. But because the PT's too close, what I'm gonna do is once it hits this, if it hits this PT, I think it's very likely to. I'll move my stop loss to break even and see if I can get some more out of it. But looks like I absolutely lucked out. Good thing I waited because this candle opened pretty bearish, like way more bearish than I expected. But yeah, I'm doing 4 hours of one-on-ones every single day. It's not as bad as last year. Last year I did 86 one-on-ones in just 2 weeks, and it was for free. I didn't even charge. Technically, these one-on-ones are free too, but so highly recommend. And some I started reaching out to a few people. A few people haven't reached out to me about the mentorship, so I'm reaching out to you guys. You guys aren't escaping. Some of you guys, it's mandatory. You got to be in there, but it'll be good. E-cut, you can look in the regular announcement channel. The premium announcement channel, there's less announcements in between. So if you go in the premium announcement channel, read that. Is the mentorship for advanced people? Not necessarily. If you're new to trading, if you're brand new to trading and you have not been in my server, I wouldn't recommend it. You're gonna grow at the same rate as being in the server. Um, Keep in mind, I'm not here to promote my Discord server, but I'm more so talking to a select group of people. What's up, Seven? Missed a good trade, dude. Yeah, I came in here early for one reason, and it was to take longs to these pivots here, and it worked. So now I'm currently waiting for this to go back up. It looks like NQ is still stronger than ES, so I'm looking to enter longs here. And I guess it might just have to be a small trade. We'll see. It could oscillate multiple times, but I'm still gonna enter if we go back up. You took that long? Nice, Seven. You took the long that I was at. Were you in here, Seven, when I took it, right when I hopped into voice? Is there a trading strategy like Sean's from Solano? There's a 99.99% chance it is completely different. I don't know anything about how that guy trades, so it's probably different. It looks like ES is flipping stronger than NQ at the moment. Is ES going to hornswoggle me into entering again, then flip weak right after? I don't know. But if we get one more green candle, I may have to enter ES, and then I just go to my NQPT. You just joined voice 2 minutes ago? Okay. Yeah, this is the long trade we took, Seven. It was from here to 699.25. That was the trade. Looks like ES is going to be strong again. And I'm concerned because ES keeps flipping weak right after I enter longs. But what are the odds it does it again, right? Do you have a mentor when you started? No, I didn't, Banditas. I did not have a mentor. And I went through hell because of it. Absolutely went through hell. Lost so much money. Okay, that candle didn't close right. So this candle could be a huge green candle. And I end up missing out on this trade. I hope that's not the case. I'm also hoping that NQ flips strong so I can get in. Or if ES can go down again, that'd be cool because then we have multiple oscillations. It'll be much more likely. But right now, I'm kind of thinking about, somewhere up here, something like this, something like that. News at 10:30. I don't have any news. Not today, at least. Thursday, I do not. I'll look at trading economics though. News. I mean, there was news at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. There's mortgage stuff at 10 my time, which is later on. Yeah, there's nothing at 10:30. Just gas stuff. Yeah, that's not anything. Okay, NQ is looking like it's flipping stronger, so it's probably going to be NQ I enter unless it gets a huge selling wick on this candle. But if this candle closes right, it's looking like NQ is going to be the one. It's trying to close right. And again, I want my minimum PTs to be around 25 points on NQ. This PT is a little bit smaller than that. Here's the last 10 seconds. I can't enter. Yeah, that's good enough. It did close good enough, so taking a stab at it. If it gets another oscillation, it's fine. I'll stop out for a small loss. What was this PT? 22,008.25. You guys can see the trade there. 22,008.25. That was the PT. Shit, I don't have time to do this. 2208. 1.5. Good entry at least. At least it's popping right after enter. Here's this PT, boom. Okay, it's .5, so I'll raise it up to the MNQ PT. No shot. If it does hit, which is an if it does hit, I think it's pretty unlikely just the NQ1's gonna hit, not this. So we'll go with 0875. I think that's a very reasonable PT, not too greedy or anything. Exactly 100 ticks, that works. 1.5 restore, that's not bad. So ideally, I put my stop loss there because if it comes down to here, it's going to sweep a lower low. And if it comes back up, then I'll re-enter. But honestly, the stop loss should be just a tiny bit closer. I'm not going to move it a little bit. 1.5 is enough. But if we do break high of day, I'm going to move my stop loss up to like here. Because if it sweeps high of day, then comes all the way back down, probably going to sweep that lower low. It's a very steep trend line. Which one? This one? This one on ES? It's a solid uptrend today. I'm not sure why it's bullish today, but it is. I mean, the pre-market analysis was bullish. Now, here was a potential ES trade that I could have taken. Now, ES was weaker at the time, but it looks like ES is stronger now than the NASDAQ, and ES is actually going to do better than the NASDAQ will. We'll see if that's true, but this is me just comparing. However, the loss on ES, if it's wrong and stops out, it's going to be more than NQ. So you're making about 25% more if ES, and this isn't even a hardcore PT. I would just sell ES when NQ gets here, but I'm thinking ES will be up here. 20 ticks on ES is 100 ticks on NQ, so it looks like ES is a little bit better. Can't wait to not be sniffly all the time. It's gonna be nice. I'm fighting for my life in some of those one-on-ones, just trying to freaking breathe. Okay, let's see if NQ gets new high of day here. There is new high of day, so I'm going to move my stop loss up a bit. Comes all the way down to there. Very likely in my mind, it's at least going to get the original stop. Maybe even back to that low. I do not like that selling wick, but this candle opened extremely bullish. Looks like NQ actually did flip strong. What are your thoughts on this trend line breaking and shorts on it? Okay, so trend line on what, Brian? I mean, Banditas. You guys have the same color name with a B. Actually, it's not quite the same color. NQ doesn't really have a nice trend line. ES does. ES is a better one. It's okay. It doesn't really matter. Okay, here's the issue with this trend line. Like in this one too, I assume this is the one you're talking about. Type in chat. Type in the Discord chat. You Discord people, what's the issue with this trend line? Because Banditas asked a good question. You know, would playing shorts on a break of this trend line be a good trade? Unless it's this one. This one's too steep. Can't happen. This one's way too steep. A break just means it consolidates. What's the issue? Yeah, FEMA, it in order for it to break the trend line, it already has to drop so much. Doesn't even make sense. It would have to drop so much. Now, ES looks a little bit better, but again, the uptrend is so steep. I have to be bullish on dips like this here and this, you know? And a lot of these trend lines, they'll break if it's bullishly consolidating. So it really depends. You know, if we do a big blow off top, we get a volume spike in supply, we put it on a shooting star, and then we get one more red candle, then yeah, it'll look a lot better. But it's a huge depends on how it gets there. Looks like NQ is experiencing a lot of resistance as it closes in on this very minor pivot. And again, this pivot is just this high here. It's right at the beginning of the supply cluster on NQ. There's not this much supply on NQ, but this little pivot right here that you can see on my right chart, you can see on the 15-minute, came up, came down. It's the closest little pivot that also happens to be in line with the NQ supply cluster. And there's PT hit. Oh my gosh, guys, it's almost like price action is going back to normal. It's almost like I'm able to read charts again. Again, you could go further with the PT. You know, I didn't. I just doing what's necessary. I didn't even document that trade, so give me a bit to do that. Could go higher, but again, my next PT's far away, and this is very heavy supply on NQ, so I'd rather not. I'd rather just play it safe. Plus, we already made money on the uptrend. I don't need to catch the whole thing. It's not worth giving back gains over. Holy shit. We are moving. So much money to be made today. I'm kicking ass and I'm still so much money being left on the table. It is awesome. It's like just strip club over here. It's just raining dollars everywhere. See, that's the downside with the way I trade futures is I have hard PTs. Options, I would have caught the move if I didn't sell immediately when it happened because I wouldn't be out. It's the downside of having hard PTs. You miss out. All right, back to NQ. Honestly, guys, I mean, we're pretty green on the day. I don't really know if I want to. Wow, that got to the next pivot on NQ I had. The next pivot was right here. And now the next one's all the way up here. What did I say? I said, let's see. Yeah, 6123 is my next PT on ES. I don't have much. I mean, I have heavy supply until then, but it's looking like it's going to get there, guys. This is so freaking bullish. I know the FOMO's hitting for a lot of you. Try to stay strong, soldiers. Yeah, it's wow, this 15-minute candle is holding so well. We might get there. We might get to 61, 23, 25. Jeez. Stonky, you did miss out because it is like a strip club in here. It's just dollars raining all over the place. I can't even grab them all. Like there's just so much on the floor. I can't even grab them. There's too much. It's too much money. I can't bear it. That's what it's doing right now. That's really what it's doing this morning. That was just the analogy that comes to mind. Anyways, the next NQ pivot's all the way up here. I guess I have to be smart and wait for consolidation, but I don't know if it's going to do that. It looks pretty good. Missy says, I need an advice. So do I. You're not talking in Discord. I am. How to reset a psychology? That is a good question, Missy. First, you need to be a premium member. Go to the Trading Psychology channel. Watch the How to Reset Psychology lesson. It's literally the perfect title. It's a perfect lesson that answers your question. It's about an hour long, 45 minutes maybe. Yes, I literally have a lesson on how to reset psychology exactly. I'll send you a screenshot of it. Here we go. Here's your teaser, Missy. There, I just sent the teaser in chat. Lesson number 4, how to reset your trading psychology and to recharge your psychological battery. There you go. Just that lesson's worth a couple $100, but probably more. It depends on the audience. It really does. I mean, if you're talking to a bunch of multimillionaires who want to get into trading, you can charge thousands for those lessons. But anyways, it is bullish. I guess I'll just watch it go up without me. I kind of said that I have to wait for consolidation, but I don't think it's going to. I do not know why it's so bullish, but it is. So, okay, to be fair, the way I'm actually looking at this is we actually caught like this entire move. I mean, think about it for a second. All right. I was in longs on ES. I entered at 811 and I sold at the top of the 819 candle. Okay. So I entered longs here and I sold at the top of this candle. And then we re-entered here and sold here. So even though it's taken off without us, I feel a little bit better because I've still somehow caught more than 50% of this entire run. Just telling myself anything to make myself feel better about not being in longs right now. It's really what I'm doing. Stonky, yep. Stonky, I only tell people to do that if they actually can't afford it. If trading's kicked your ass and you have $100 in your bank account, yeah, sign up for premium, download all the videos and cancel it. And then out of the kindness of your heart, come back when those videos make you money. Well, we're getting microscopic bullish consolidation. Guys, it's kind of looking like ES might get to 61.23. Is there a reason why the market's going up so much today? Why does my chart look like this? Um, gold and silver are flooding into U.S. warehouses. There's a huge thing going on with gold and silver right now. Like it's crazy. There's like a huge default on gold in the making right now. Kremlin confirms Putin-Trump summit on the way as Zelensky warns against cutting. Huge upward revisions to PPI, almost as if the previous administration wasn't being exactly honest about how bad inflation is. Trump just tweeted news conference on reciprocal tariffs today at 1 p.m. The Oval Office, Make America Great Again. I'm not going to be trading at 1 p.m., but that's happening, I guess. That's pretty much all I got for the fundamentals, guys. Been watching these videos to learn, but want to get real. I'm not here to promote things, but you can ask like Dev or someone else in the chat, Brian. Oh, he is postponing tariffs? Okay. I mean, he's meeting about them at 11 today. Here's the question, you guys. Do I dare re-enter longs if I get a green candle here? Because it would be bullish consolidation on NQ. And do I dare do it? Do we start the cycle of giving back all our profits and finish the day red? How do you guys feel about that? Nope. All right, don't follow. Because if this candle goes green, I'm probably going to enter longs because it is bullish consolidation in an uptrend, and I kind of have to enter. I mean, I kind of don't want to, but I don't really want to. ES did put in like a solid top, but NQ looks stronger than ES. I'm hoping that ES just pulls NQ down so I don't even have to make that decision. But if NQ invalidates this pullback, I'm probably going to take it, right? I mean, I took that trade yesterday or 2 days ago, right at the beginning, in a solid bullish consolidation. I'll get in. So this is my entry candle. This looks great. I cannot enter though because it's not within the last 10 seconds. So I have to wait, unfortunately. So I need the candle to close like this and not break high of day before I enter. Okay, I can't have the candle be like this, so. I have 10 seconds till I can enter, and at the moment it's not looking like I'm going to enter. However, I am concerned because if it puts in a selling wick and the next candle opens green, the next candle's probably going to break high of day, and I can't enter if it breaks high of day. NQ just made a lower low. ES is looking a little bit stronger than NQ, but I'm still liking NQ a bit more. Crafty says, great idea. Love that idea. You know, that idea always never fails us, T Crafty. Being green and giving back all our gains. Love to do it. Yeah, it did. I mean, it did do that, Amar. I mean, it is making lower lows, you know, and we just got our second buying with making a lower low. These aren't big oscillations, but with an uptrend so strong, sometimes you're just not going to get really big oscillations. So, yeah, if NQ gets to my entry, I will be taking longs. Don't do it if you're not willing to give back gains. I am. I am confirmed in. And we'll just see what happens. See you later, Esky. Yeah, if you guys want to lock in your gains, go ahead and leave. Do not blame you at all. But if this does put in bullish consolidation and I leave after just 20, 30 minutes of futures trading, well, what's that look like for psych? Is that perfect psych? If like today out of all days, I leave after just 20 minutes, it wouldn't be very good psych. If I left yesterday out of 20 minutes, I would have left money on the table as well. So it's whatever. You just have to be willing. Like you're supposed to continue trading. That's a proper thing to do. However, if you're unwilling to give back gains, that overrides it. So you have to leave. However, I already talked about that in a lesson. You cannot keep doing that because you're going to blow your account doing that. You cannot train yourself to only be willing to leave when you like your results. And leaving early trading does that to you. It really does. And for those of you that haven't heard me talk about it, think how often do you leave after just a couple green trades? You're happy and you leave early. You go multiple green days in a row. What always happens on the first 1 or 2 red days? For most people, just everything goes down the shitter. You give it all back plus everything else. It's because you naturally train yourself to only leave the computer when the outcomes are acceptable. And when you train yourself to do that with that mindset, Thor himself could not pry you away from your screen when your outcomes aren't acceptable. You know, maybe you're a little green, but you should have been so much more. You're red, but there's opportunity to make it back, whatever it is. So you have to be very careful about what you reinforce, and that's one of the big things we focus on. We in shorts now? No, I'm not in shorts. I'm waiting to enter longs. I don't like that NQ is weaker than ES now. Because I wanted to enter NQ longs. I didn't want to enter ES, but I mean, technically the ESPT is all the way up here. Will it get there though? I have high doubts. I have very big doubts. But it's certainly possible. It's a nice candle on NQ. Was a nice candle. So this is the big PT all the way up here for ES, but I'm not going to that high. That's way too high. That is way, way, way too high. Good. It looks like I'm not entering longs yet. This is technically speaking, on ES, you did get a volume spike in supply. On this candle, this is a confirmation of the reversal. This is technically a short trade here on ES. I do not think it's nearly likely enough for me to enter. Again, I called out another one yesterday, just like this and the day before. I didn't enter because it was against my bias, both of which played out. But that doesn't mean I'm going to change up. You know, I have these pivots above. The trend is super strong. I'd rather not do that. Right, I'll put my phone down real quick because this is looking like a potential long entry. I guess I could enter all the way down here. I could. I'm going to keep my entry all the way up here. I want it to come all the way. I want it to make me get in. The risk to reward is still going to be roughly 1.3, so not bad. You free people missed it yesterday, though. Yesterday's stream was great. Called out 5 trades. Every single one hit. I only took 3 of them. Well, I also did an extra break-even trade. I don't really count that. Hang on. I got to take this call. All right. I'm back. It is continuing to chop down. It's chopping down very steep though. That's why I'm keeping my entry very high because I could enter right here, but it's chopping down so steep that it could just be a dead cat bounce. So we will see what happens. Ecut says, what do you think about trading scripts? Someone I know thinks they found the holy grail. In my experience, they do not work. Ever. They never work. Plenty of people have bought Lux Algo and type in chat. We have what, 80 people watching us? Where's everyone at lately? They're missing out all the green days. We have 80 people watching us. Type in chat if you've ever used a script or some kind of algorithm that you had high hopes for. What was the results of that algorithm or script? Everyone type in chat. No, I'm not Zen. You'd be able to see it on my screen if I were in something. Yeah, so you can look at chat ecut, and the reason I am so negative towards that because I don't have a single person in my 22,000 member server that says they love trading algorithms and scripts. They don't work. Some days you'll be green on them, but over the long shot, learning how to trade is going to be a better use of your time. It really is. Because the problem is, during a trading algorithm, what you're going to spend, maybe it's going to work for a few weeks or some weeks it's going to work. How many months of your life are you going to spend if you really love this algorithm or trading script? How many months of your life are you going to spend trying to make it work? I would say at least 3 before you give up. At least. Some people go for 6 or a year. Because it's not like they lose everything, It's like the casino. You win on the way down. Some slot machines they let you down real easy. Sometimes the way down has nice spikes of dopamine. My big issue is not only do, in my experience and other people's experience, they don't work in the long run, but also you're wasting so much time. I mean, the months that you're trying to get your script to work is months that you're losing of psychological improvement, technical improvement, all those things. It's literally a waste. Huge waste of time. You're better off just going through hell as it is, not looking for an easy way out. There is no way out of going through the hell of learning how to trade from a psychological standpoint. And a lot of people that go for trading algorithms, they try to beat around the bush and try to find an easier way out of learning how to trade in a legit manner. So, yeah, let them do it, Ika. I mean, there are algorithms that work, but they're extremely complicated, massive Wall Street hedge fund algorithms that have Bloomberg terminal and they react to news. Like shit like that, And then they just scalp it. Or, quant finance, they find tiny gaps in the spreads and they arbitrage that. Like, there's stuff like that works and it's real, but as far as something you and I can just go out and buy, it's probably not going to work. I was just annoyed that this guy thinks it'll work. Let him think that, dude. And if it works, great. That is awesome. Put me on. If you guys find an algorithm that works, put me on. I would love to not have to do this anymore, but fortunately that's not reality. Munchie says, yeah, I wasted 8 months of my trading career tracking data, creating a script, and trying to get it to be profitable. Yep. And YouTube chat pretty much says the same thing. All right, well, I'm waiting to enter these longs. I'm hoping NQ makes another lower low. ES was stronger. It still is a little bit stronger, but I'm not too sure. Obviously, this wouldn't be the ESPT all the way up here. That is the big price target, but it wouldn't be the price target for this trade. Simply too far away. So realistically, this NQPT is my PT, and it looks like NQ's actually flipping stronger again. I don't like this trend line though at all. This trend line really bugs me. So if it gets to my entry, I'm still gonna take it. But this trend line bugs me a lot. So we'll see. You would love to just leave us, Bryce, after all we've been through. Of course not. It's my purpose. What would my purpose in life be if I just sat in the dark and traded all alone and got rich all alone? Who wants to make a bunch of Tommies rich? Oof. If I wanted to make a bunch of Tommies rich, I'd be on TikTok and Instagram, live streaming my trading and shaking my ass whenever I win a trade for so my clippers that I pay from WAP can post it all over social media and say, my mentor's so goofy. I can't believe this is the guy that's going to make me rich. Or trying to make Tommy's rich, I would do that right there. Obacat says, hey, quick question, but when should one prefer options versus futures? You can let Chad answer that, but pretty much most people in my server have switched to futures full time. I still do options as well. Plenty of people still do options, but if you are learning how to trade, your money's going to go a lot further if you do funded futures. Because no matter what, you're gonna lose all your money. Every dollar you have, you're gonna lose it learning to trade. Uh, if you trade prop firms, $30 an account at a time, your money's gonna go down a lot slower, and you're gonna learn a lot more. Whereas if you save up for a couple of months, finally you get to throw $5,000 into an options portfolio. That shit's gone in 3 weeks, maybe not even. Then what? You got no better. You reinforce bad psych, and now you got to save up for another couple months to try again. It's terrible. It's terrible. I wish when I started trading, went the futures route, but it wasn't a thing then. Jaber, you can do it. I'm just not gonna. Who says I don't do it? I just don't record it. Um. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna enter ES longs. My issue is NQ is kind of a bear flag right now. It really is kind of a bear flag. So I don't think I want to enter anymore. I want NQ to break to the downside from this flag here. But ES is kind of, I mean, it didn't validate most of the drop. Hmm. Is NQ just gonna go up, or is this little bear flag gonna break to the downside? NES looks good though. Oh, this is a tough decision. Please go down. It's not going to. I'm gonna have to enter, folks. Gonna have to do it. If this candle closes like this, I'm gonna give it a shot. Only because NQ also has these lower highs as well. It's actually like a very weird pennant. So NQ has a decent chance of actually breaking to the upside. But I have 10 more seconds before I can enter. Here's the trend line on NQ. I guess ES is just going to give me a horrendous average. Not terrible, I guess. All right, well, there we go. See what happens. Slightly worse average than I wanted. Oops. And yeah, we'll see. My issue, I'm very conflicted for this trade. As you can see, I want NQ to break to the downside. We do have a potential double fake prophecy now. We broke one way, right? Fake one way. Sorry. Fake one way, fake the other way, go the original way. That's what I'm hoping for, and I'm hoping that ES's strength, because I could totally see ES cup and handling or something here. I'm hoping ES's strength will keep it away from my stop loss. But so this is a very conflicting trade. But because of how strong the market is, how good ES's pivot is, and all those things, I'm willing to spend money on it. Now, as far as the PT, I mean, this is the nearest NQ PT here. I could just go to NQ new high of day, which would be up here. Let me actually compare. So I could just go to NQ new high of day and sell whenever that happens. And ES will just be where ES is at. I don't know. We're going to have to see. That wasn't really proper bullish consolidation. It looks like NQ's finally going to break my trend line to the downside. Let's see how far it goes. Hoping it doesn't go far. You know, if it can just sweep this is the low that I wanted to sweep here. If it can just sweep this low and start working back upwards, that will look amazing. But NQ could not hold its breakout here. Actually, let me document this real quick. NQ swept where I wanted it to get to, pretty much exactly. ES isn't being as strong as I wanted though. It's kind of the same now. But this is looking like a potential cup and handle on ES. And NQ not only swept this low, it swept this one as well. If I weren't in already, I can't really enter here. I would need it to invalidate this drop, and I'd enter more closer to high of day. What is that supply and demand indicator? Someone can help him with that. Jericho asked in the Discord chat. Go to the indicator info channel. Okay, so now if this candle closed like this, I would be entering here no matter what. The risky thing with this trade is entering when I did. I just waited for one oscillation based on ES's strength, but I'm really hoping this candle closes like this because that means I would have entered anyways. So it doesn't matter. Like, there's nothing to think about. There's nothing to do. I'd have to enter here, which is really nice because that takes the only stress I have is if I made the wrong decision by choosing the riskier entry. And, you know, if I get one more small green candle, that means I didn't. And then we're chilling. Then whatever happens, happens. I only care about whether or not I made the wrong decision. And sometimes accepting that is pretty difficult. Now I just hope ES stays stronger than NQ. I don't know if it's going to do that, though, because it hasn't really done a good job at doing that lately. Yeah, I'd have to be in. All right, good trade. Very good trade. We'll see what happens. And again, I don't know whether to go for the NQ new high of day and just sell when it gets there or some kind of pivot above. It's just so far away, and I don't know. And it's already ran so far, and we're already in supply. I'm pretty conflicted on what PT to go for. Because, like I said, 61.23.25, so 61.23-ish is it. That's the big pivot on ES. But is it really just going to go right to that? Well, this would be a perfect bullpen on NQ, but it's not. If it did this and came all the way back up to the top trend line, I would think so. But this isn't a perfect bull pennant. It just had a lot of chopping up within this bull pennant, so I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't want it to go down, but now that this is a perfect trend line, if we do go down, sweep the lower lows, then come back up, then it will be pretty much a perfect bull flag. And then I'm going to be thinking, okay, well, you know, the size of this here's the size of this first leg. It's from 7:39 all the way to 8:44. So we have an hour and 5 minutes. And then this consolidation has been from 8:44. It's only been for 30 minutes. So it can consolidate for another 30 minutes and still be perfectly proportional. So I think this can turn into a flag. If that does happen, this is the potential for that flag breakout. Obviously, I would never expect it to actually get up here, but it's plenty enough potential for it to clear these pivots. So my concern is if this flag does turn into a flag and go for 30 more minutes, there's a good chance that this drop right here is going to be enough for it to get my stop loss. That's kind of the issue there. So I guess we'll see what happens. I'm only keeping this here on NQ to compare. Like compare the trades if I entered on NQ. This helps me gauge the strength and whatnot. Kind of looks like ES is flipping weak. Which would make sense because it's at new high of day, which is a lot more sell side liquidity. It's just resistance that NQ doesn't have at the moment. But hope it doesn't say like that. And I'm not even going to think about my PT unless NQ like breaks to the upside and starts getting towards high of day. For now, I don't have a hard PT. I don't know where I want to put it yet. 61.23 would be nice, but it's the odds are still too low. YouTube Live is grainy. I'm not sure why it's grainy. I don't think. Oh, there's nothing I can do about the YouTube Live graininess. It's because it's live. So a lot of streamers and stuff, it's good quality, but they put on like a few minute delay, like 2 minutes. I turned up the delay a little bit to make the quality just a little bit better. Right now it's around an 8 second delay. The thing is with trading, you can't really, if I'm trading the 1 minute, you can't afford a 2 minute delay or something. So I don't really know if there's a better way to do it. If there is, please let me know. But that's really the best I can do for now, at least. I got it just clear enough to where you can see wicks, you can see the numbers on the sides, you can see that stuff. Let me actually turn up the text a little bit. Turn up the 28. All right, that's a perfect trend line on NQ. Hoping it makes a lower low than bounces. If I entered NQ, I would be pretty much stopping out. That's a very nice trend line to the upside. That'll look good to break if it does, or when it does, I guess, because it's guaranteed to break sometime. Yeah, the YouTube is something you got to be full screen on. It looks like ES is losing its strength. Barely missed new high of day. NQ should make a lower low here. Looks like ES is probably going to get to my stop loss if that happens. Looks like shorts are taking over on ES. But I will be giving this trade another try if it stops me out then comes back up. There's the lower lows on NQ. Let's see how much lower it goes. Because it could just be a pennant break to the downside. I mean, you do have a pennant, which is bullish, but you are also in supply, which cancels out the bullishness of that pennant. So it is 50-50 which way it breaks. It could just be a straight up downside break. But NQ did just barely sweep the lower low. And NQ will look really good if it invalidates this drop. It'll truly look really good. ES looks like it's weaker on this bounce, but it's been stronger so that that lower low on NQ didn't sweep my stop. But NQ obviously flipped a lot stronger because it swept this liquidity here. Oh my gosh, NQ's a lot stronger. Jeez. Let's confirm bull flag, folks. Or it's more of a falling wedge than a flag, but whatever. Tomato, potato, right? Or potato, yeah, tomato, potato, yeah. Anyways, roughly here is where I'd want to enter if I were taking NQ. The stop loss would be roughly here. PT, it's really up to you. This is a big PT up here. High of, even if you just go for new high of day, it's still roughly a 1.3 risk to reward. I also really like that ES. I don't like that ES made a higher high right here, but it also missed high of day, which gives it okay odds. So let's see. Let's see if this is actually the bottom on NQ or we're going to go back down. Because right now it's got potential. It's got solid potential right now. I always say tomato, potato. That's what I say too, Dev. So it's supposed to be. It's tomato, potato. That's the saying. I don't want to move my stop loss up, but Nah, I'm not unless ES gets new high of day because it technically could make a lower low than bounce again. So unlikely though. If ES gets new high of day, I can move my stop loss up a decent amount. This trend line is it's pretty close to a perfect trend line on NQ. Close enough. The concern I have is this is too perfect of a falling wedge on NQ. Too many retail traders are going to enter when this breaks out. So I kind of think it's going to break to the upside, then fake out and go right back down. Whenever patterns are like this perfect, I just think what would retail traders do? And it scares me a bit. Because if the pattern does break to the upside, it has a solid chance of going right back down, or it just has a decent chance of breaking to the downside. Yes, the saying is actually tomato, tomato, guys, but I just say tomato, potato. And it looks like NQ's going for a lower low. It didn't have the juice to get to the trend line. And that actually sucks because if it got to the trend line, its odds of breaking to the upside would be so good because it was strong enough to test the trend line for fifth touch. Or the third test since the trend line was formed. It didn't have enough to do it. So now its odds actually breaking to the downside are much higher. Right as I start talking about retail traders, it does exactly what I say. It goes down. Like clockwork, I'm telling you guys, when you have patterns that are too perfect and you know retail traders are getting in, statistically 90 something percent of retail traders never make money. If you know 90% of retail traders are getting into something, it's not looking too good. Yeah, I think it's going to stop out. It technically does have a chance. This could be a huge liquidity sweep here. Stop out retail, fill institutional longs, then go up. So I'm not going to sell early, but that's yet another close call. And ES isn't really sweeping much. There's a chance that ES could go for a lower low all the way down here, which would mean NQ would fall out of supply. Great strength, though. I mean, good job choosing ES because I would have... NQ would have stopped me out once, maybe twice by now. I'd rather just avoid it all and take one longer trade that's either just a loss or a win. Nothing, Cam Harder. My PT is completely subjective. I just threw it right here because the risk to reward is above 1-to-1. It's 20 ticks on ES, which is kind of my minimum for green trades usually. I don't know where my PT is. My PT, if we do somehow NQ pulls its life together and goes up, my PT will likely be NQ new high of day, but that's not looking very likely. It looks like NQ. It looks like supply is winning. Looks like NQ's throwing in the towel, unfortunately. So it looks like I'm going to stop out. But if we do somehow go back up, I'm probably just going to sell when NQ gets new high of day. I don't think NQ is going to get this pivot all the way up here. Told you guys this pennant was off. With how much it chopped up here, it was like a bear flag. But like I said, this can totally be a buy side liquidity sweep, stop out retail. Institutions get their fills. And now everyone that got hornswoggled into going short because they think this pattern broke to the downside, they could squeeze out. We could see something. Certainly looks like a bullish liquidity sweep. Oh my lord. So like if I were just trading NQ, I certainly would have stopped out and now I'd be looking to re-enter. You could re-enter on this candle itself. I would have to wait for it to get to the top trend line because I already barely missed here and I would have saved myself from a loss. I would have to wait until it gets up here. And this looks like a well put together trade right here. That's a solid ass trade. PT's a little close, but that'll look pretty solid. It just needs to get to the top trend line. If it can't get to the top trend line, I think we're just going to chop down. Because chopping down is bullish, but the longer you chop down, the more bearish it becomes. Yeah, see how it just missed the trend line? Now I'm thinking it's actually just going to fall. So that actually could have just been a sell side liquidity sweep. And it looks like the trend may be bearish, actually, because that's bearish right there. That is all hope for longs just got crushed. So that's actually not a terrible short entry. Let me document this real quick. We go back up, I'll still re-enter, but that's pretty bearish. Be really nice if ES can sweep a lower low, then come back up. That'll look like a really good trade. So I'm going to hang out on my phone until something like that happens. Until then, I really can't do anything. Retail traders got smoked. I shouldn't have said anything. Maybe it wouldn't have happened. What a beautiful stop loss. That's beautiful. All right, he has got the lower low. If we come back up, I'll be back in. But like I said, that candle was super bearish on NQ, but it's not like I can enter shorts there because it's still within a bull pennant on ES. And because ES didn't sweep high of day, it doesn't have that bearish sweep. It's just simply a trade I cannot take. But flawless stop loss there. Where was it even? It was, yeah, it was right here. That's beautiful. Yeah, in order to take shorts, ES is gonna have to go way below this because it's too likely to be a flag. You know, my re-entry will be roughly here. And, you know, stop loss here, PT would, it really depends. But this is a very good long trade setup if we sweep this. If we keep going down, I don't really have much. Um, this is a very decent low to attack on NQ, but realistically, in order for me to get that, I would need NQ and ES to fall well below this pivot. So I need ES to fall roughly here and then consolidate. This is bearish consolidation though on NQ. That's bearish. And it already did break to the downside, get the lower low right as I said it. Can't enter it anyways, too early in the candle. But if NQ can bearishly consolidate here, then I can take a pretty decent short trade. I don't know if I really want to do that. I'll just hang out on my phone until something jumps out at me. Jeez. Well, now I can start thinking about shorts. I mean, it's kind of late, but we get a decent little bounce and invalidate that bounce. Yeah, this is looking like shorts. Ideally, I'd want to enter somewhere around up here, and this would be my target. It really just depends on the formation. I'm probably just, we'll see. Because if ES still goes back up, it's still a long trade. Like, I'd still have to re-enter roughly here. But I'm kind of thinking, like, we're going to get some bearish consolidation and continue down. So that does not look bullish to me at all. We're still above the 38.2. There's still plenty of room to come down. I don't know if NQ's going to consolidate, though, man. It's so bearish right now. Bears are in full control. Actually, if it holds this buying wick here, it'll look good to bounce and consolidate. So we're not expecting high of day? Not the moment. Well, if it goes all the way back up. That's a nice bounce. Let's see if it consolidates. It's kind of too steep of a drop. I can't really. Can't really see us do that now. Do I have anything at 9:30? 9:30, we have a bunch of bill auctions that just happened. 10 a.m., we have some mortgage rate stuff that can be catalysts. Nice shot, FEMA. Good trade, dude. Yeah, that short trade's pretty good. That's a good short trade. And you held that long trade better than I did. You held that thing all the way up. That's beautiful. The way ES is bouncing right now is kind of making me think I'm actually going to end up re-entering longs. There's a lot of volume. There's a solid amount of volume down here. Like, look at all the volume spike here. Indication or reversal. Look at the way price action is reacting to it. You could take a risky reversal trade here. I'm kind of tempted to do that, but I want to keep my trades high probability, so I'm going to wait for it to go higher because it can still be a dead cat on NQ. Not willing to stop out of this one, but if you want, you could take a reversal trade. FEMA looks like you just casually sold the bottom, dude. Beautiful. Looks like NQ's flipping stronger than ES. Am I going to end up entering NQ longs instead? Let's see. There's the 50% on ES. Where's 50% on NQ? It's almost there. I don't trust it though. NQ's been so much weaker. I'm still probably gonna have to enter ES. Right? If it breaks the 61.8, I'm in. Yep. I wouldn't get into this trade if ES swept high day, but because it missed high day, I'm willing to give it another shot. Now, after bouncing as hard as we did, do I still enter shorts if we validate most of this move on ES? Because that is a supply retest, but I don't know. That bounce was a little hard. Oh, man, I can. I can technically do it. Like if I get a really solid candle close on ES all the way back down to here, I can. Um, I hope I don't have to make that decision. Because I think we may be in for a short squeeze all the way back up. I mean, that dropped really aggressively. And this bounce, I mean, look at the red candle that just invalidated. This bounce is starting to indicate, a good short squeeze, especially if ES can somehow get back to the high of this selling wick. That's what I'm thinking. But it's not. That is a nice rejection there. That could have just been an additional supply sweep. Gotta wait for the last 10 seconds of the candle anyways before I can make a decision. I'm not opposed to taking an ES short and moving my stop loss to break even immediately if it gets a lower low. I'm not opposed to it. It's getting too big of a buying wick though. I can't enter on this candle at least. This is setting up to be a potential short. Hoping it gets another buying wick so I don't have to get in. Looks like NQ may be flipping a little bit weaker than ES. Could go for another oscillation, but I'm kind of liking shorts. It's not bad. I mean, I'd move my stop loss to break even the second it gets a lower low. We're going to close this candle, though. I don't like NQ's buying wicks at the moment. I'm going to sit it out. I don't like NQ's buying wicks. It looks way too likely to at least, even if it is bearish, it looks too likely to get at least one more oscillation, which would easily sweep my stop loss. So, I know ideally if it's going to be bearish, come back up, sweep supply one more time on NQ, and then head down. That's a much better trade I could take. But also, if it goes up a little bit too much and we head up to here on ES, and now I'm going to be thinking, okay, well, it no longer looks like potential bearish consolidation. It's going to be looking like a short squeeze to catalyze price action to run through high of day. If it fully invalidates this small bounce right here, I'm kind of feeling the shorts. No, but it's also on a pivot. I might just sit it out, guys. I don't know. It'll be a really solid short trade if it comes all the way back down to my entry and closes this candle nice. Do I really think it's going to continue down, though? Eh. Hoping it keeps going up so I don't have to make that decision yet. Kind of going candle by candle right now, which I don't like doing because I could potentially enter at any candle, which does deteriorate your psych. That's kind of a textbook bear pennant on NQ. This candle closes exactly like this. I think I'm going to give it a chance. It's looking like I'm going to give it a chance. It's a very nice bear pennant. Yeah, I gave it a small chance. Let's go to MNQ real quick so you can see it. And I don't like how the candle closed making a lower low, but it's really not bad. I'll give it a chance. If it I hope it does at least make a lower low, because if it could at least make a lower low, I'll move my stop to break even. But it's a pretty small loss if it is one. I can't sell at the lower low because it's only a 0.6 risk to reward. I think I'd go for this low, honestly. Looks like that's a nice bounce though. It looks like it just baited me in perfectly. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna stop out. NQ flipped super strong out of nowhere. Or decently stronger than ES. It's actually a lot stronger than he is now. That is very unlucky. We'll see if the squeeze actually means anything. If it makes a higher high and comes back down, I'll try one more time. Otherwise, it kind of looks like price action is just kind of not doing anything productive directionally. Geez, NQ is so strong. This is a bear pennant, but it's actually looking like a long trade right now. Like 99.9% sure it's gonna sweep the higher high here. Is this a perfect trend line? No, it is not. It's a nice trend line though. So unlucky. What's up with strengths changing 1 minute after I get in lately? Happened on the first trade today too. That looks good for a long trade right there on NQ. If you do decide to take it, it is very risky because you're kind of going against supply and it is a bear pennant. I would just do what I did on this short trade, except the exact opposite. Go for the higher high and then move your stop loss to break even right when it gets it. I didn't need to stop out. That freaking sucks that NQ flips so weak. I should still be in shorts if I were an ES. So I'm willing to give it one more try if I come back, if it comes all the way back down. Looks like it just barely swept my stop loss. I don't know. I kind of want to see this bear pennant break to the upside now. I am T-Crafty. I am indeed. Still small green on the day, but so far price action is doing that to me, as it does. I think NQ's got a good chance of breaking to the upside. In fact, I do like a long trade here. I'm not gonna do it though. It's more so just me wanting to make losses back, but if it closes within this selling wick here, it's going to be looking pretty good for a long trade to at least to this high, and then maybe beyond that, like up to here. And that is not a trade I can enter though. In fact, I said I'm willing to give it one more attempt if it comes back down, and it looks it. I mean, it might. It's that's a bit too perfect of a pattern though. These patterns are perfect lately, which means they're probably going to break the opposite way. It's actually a very nice candle on NQ. Now it's back to being more bullish if it holds that buying wick. I'm actually open to giving longs a very small try on this candle. It looks so good for longs right now. Why is this? It's the wrong chart. Looks like I would be stopping out of ES anyways, though, so it's not a big deal. Longs on that last candle look pretty good. I'm not going to enter them. It's just not psychologically a flawless trade, so I'm not. Still very much so a bear pennant at the moment. And I need to keep myself available to try one more time on shorts. And this is kind of a short entry candle. Pennant's a little bit too perfect though. It kind of bugs me. So I could enter shorts on this candle. For stop loss, I'd really just have to go here. And then for PT, yeah, I'd be all the way down there. I didn't enter it. I didn't pull the trigger. Yeah, I couldn't pull the trigger in time. I did not enter it. But that is technically supposed to be my re-entry candle there. Did NQ... Ooh, is that a perfect double bottom? That is a perfect double bottom on the NASDAQ right there. So this is where I would have entered. I tried pulling the trigger. It didn't fill me. I couldn't do it in time. Not psychologically flawless during this very tight compression, especially because that's the exact same candle that I already entered on. But I would be moving my stop loss to break even if I entered there, if it breaks the perfect double bottom. If it doesn't break the perfect double bottom and comes back up, um, at my break at this short entry here, it would actually be a decent long trade just for this trend line to break. Because this is also a perfect trend line on NQ. But it looks like it's going to break the double bottom right now. There it is. Damn it, dude. I missed it. So if I were in this trade, stop loss break even, I should be in this trade. But I did miss it. To be fair, if it does come back up, which I kind of hope it does, for psychological purposes, if it does come back up, it would have stopped my break even. It would be like I didn't enter anything. But we called it. That bear pennant's beautiful. I tried. Like I did try to get it, but NQ had to flip super strong on me. This was a potential reversal candle on ES, or I mean NQ. Looks like it's gonna get to that PT. Man, the time it goes is the time I miss it. I tried, but it didn't freaking fill me. That is so frustrating because I called it perfectly too. It was so perfect. That pisses me off so much. I called it so perfectly. The TA was so easy. That was such a clear bear pennant. That bugs me so much that didn't fill me. Looks like it's gonna get my final PT as well, which is my hard price target. Almost there. I expect any bounce to be temporary. That's a very nice break to the downside. Looks like the market's anticipating bearish Trump talks in about an hour from now. I will not be in here for that. There's PT hit. Painful. So painful, dude. That pisses me off so much. I couldn't fill on that. Probably gonna call it there though, because I don't have any trades. Like that was it, and I missed it, unfortunately. So gonna call it as a small green day. It is what it is. Freaking, that's so upsetting. That's the worst thing ever. I absolutely despise it. But it is what it is. But I will. Gosh, that is so bearish. Damn it! I cannot believe I missed it. Pisses me off so much. Yeah, I'll call it there. I don't have any trades. Everything's a chase, and I don't want to step in front of this trend. So I will see you people later. Congrats on the gains if you had them. Was fantastic. TA ended on a terrible note, but I'm out of trades now. So good luck if you continue trading. Feel free to reach out if you guys need anything. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the one-on-ones later. Good luck if you keep trading.